coming in the bottom.
What these niggas kill me, dog?
Take it. Fire sale is active. Fire station costs are taking fire on. Target is behind. Enemy UAV. Contact.
How's it going, Vaqueros, and welcome back to the channel. I have some super exciting news today, and today you really are going to be Vaqueros because we're going to be using the cowboy gun, the 410 Ironhide, because it recently just got buffed in the latest update. If you totally missed it, well, last update there was a big patch and some of the shotguns got buffed, including the combat shotgun, which now can one-shot kill with 2 types of ammo, and of course the 410 Ironhide was among the others that got buffed, and it was a long time coming. This was the most neglected gun in the game with a 0.00 pick rate. Nobody used it, and for good reason. With the 300 health update, it was just awful. It was so hard to use, and the reward was just not there. But we finally got a buff for it, and I'm super excited because I love this gun. It is so cool. I love lever actions. Let's just be real. I love the 1887 and anything that resembles that. So let's just get into the buff and what exactly changed. Well, the 410 Ironhide, it had its max damage range buffed a little bit that last update. Before this one, there was like some shotguns that got their max damage range damage buffed, and that was nice, but it was still kind of crappy, and that wasn't really the issue with this shotgun. But this last update, the most recent one, that one buffed all the other damage ranges. So now we have a shotgun that is more consistent and actually works at 300 health. So from 0 to 2.5 meters, that max damage range with no attachments on this gun, you can two-shot pretty much anywhere on the body. It's just going to kill people pretty easily. It's like any other pump action. It feels good. I like using it like this, and it's got great hip fire, so no problems there. The real weird stuff starts to happen in the next range. So from 2.5 to about 8.6 meters, you can two-shot kill now, which is awesome, but again, like it was at 250 health, you have to hit headshots. That's a big womp 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 moment because that's really hard to do consistently. I mean, hitting 2 headshots in a row with this sort of thing, a shotgun with spread, can be pretty challenging, but I really appreciate the sentiment and that the devs are actually listening. That is super cool, and I'm just glad they're actually trying to buff these things. So yeah, if you do not hit headshots with this thing, you're looking at 3 body shots out to 8 meters, which is pretty rough considering it shoots so slow, but it's not all bad. There's a few things about this gun that really make it special in my eyes. So after that, out to about 15 meters, it'll take 4 body shots and 3 headshots, and then out past that, out to 31 meters, it's going to take 4 headshots and 5 body shots. So you might be thinking to yourself, why the hell would you want to shoot that far? Well, the neat thing about this gun that a lot of people don't really realize is that when you aim down sights with this thing, you get one of the most insanely tight pellet spreads I have ever seen. I think in Warzone, it's definitely the tightest of all the shotguns now in Warzone, but basically you can hit targets from like 40 meters away. If you have attachments on, you're aiming down sights, you can hit people legitimately from 40 meters away and actually get decent hit markers and break armor and stuff. That's what the real trick to this gun is that it has insane range. It's just that at that range, it's just not that strong. So it's like kind of this weird mix of being fun and you're hitting shots and breaking armor, but it still takes like 4 or 5 shots and you got to hit headshots. It's ridiculous, but basically to give you an idea of the range, if you're on top of prison and someone's in the tower, you can, like you saw in the clip in the intro, you can actually hit people in the tower, but as you saw, it's going to take a few shots and you're probably going to die like I did. I was just kind of trying it out to see if I could do it, and I almost did it, but then the guy killed me. So it's possible, but it's not super practical. And while the tight pellet spread is really cool for longer ranges, it makes it extremely hard to use in close quarters because if someone's jumping around, you're trying to hit headshots, right? Most of the time. If someone's jumping around, you're pretty much going to miss most of your pellets. It's really tough to do. I was having a pretty difficult time using this thing because I always go for headshots and it seems to screw me up. Maybe you'd probably do better if you just went for body shots or just stuck to really close quarters and hip fired. Maybe you do better, but I was trying to kind of bring out the inner cowboy in me and try to hit headshots as much as I could. It's really difficult, but oh my god, it's so satisfying when it works. You'll see a couple good clips where I can manage to 2-shot, but most of the time with this gun, it's going to be about a 3-shot kill. Let's be honest, the amount of consistency and really pinpoint accuracy you need with this gun because of how tight that pellet spread is, it's basically a slug. It's incredibly hard to use, and honestly, this is probably the hardest shotgun to use, even amongst some of the other slug shotguns. Like the combat shotgun's tough with slugs, but you can be rewarded with that one-shot headshot. But this thing, you have to be so consistent and constantly on point with your aim, unless you're just like kind of up close and barrel stuffing them. It's really hard to do. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some attachments, because there's some fun stuff here. First of all, the Task Force barrel is probably the best barrel overall because it gives you about 20% more range. The Reinforced Heavy barrel is usually what people use, but I would say don't bother. The change to the rate of fire is not noticeable, and you don't get as much range either, so just use the Task Force barrel. I promise you, just kit it out for all-out range, and you're going to have a good time. Same with the Ember Sighting Point. Just use the Ember Sighting Point. You could also use the SOF Target Designator if you want a little bit less range, but a little bit better sprint to fire speed, or you could use one of the flashlights if you want to be able to aim down sights and move pretty quickly when you're doing that. Also, another fun thing about this gun is that the agency choke on this gun actually increases range. I know I've talked about this before, but basically the only Cold War shotgun that actually gets range from the agency suppressor is this, or I'm sorry, the agency choke. This is the gun for that. You get about maybe like 4% more range. It's nothing crazy, but you might as well stick it on. I know it kind of makes the iron sights a little wonky to look at, but just go for it. Use the iron sights too. I wouldn't bother with one of the sights. Also, for the stock, I would say the best stock to use is probably going to be either the marathon stock or no stock, because you do want a little bit of sprint to fire speed, and those both help with that. But the marathon stock gives you a great aim down sights movement speed bonus, which is really great for checking corners. The combat stock might work, but you're going to be caught with your pants down a lot if you're trying to rush people because of the sprint to fire speed, so I would say no stock or the marathon stock. So to sum it up, for my best class, I would say use the agency choke, the Task Force barrel, the Ember Sighting Point, either no stock or the marathon stock, and then use the 7-round tube. You could use the 8, it's just that I don't think it's really needed. It's only one more round, and you don't want to hurt your aim down sight speed with it, so you could use it, but honestly, just go for 7. It's probably fine. As for my thoughts on this gun, I still love it. As much as I hate dying when I use it because it's just so difficult to use, it still has its fun moments, and when it works like a charm, and it's so much fun, but it is so hard to use consistently, and it's just not that great for most people. I would say if you're looking to have fun, try something different, and you're in a party, you know, you're actually backed up by a team, give it a shot and see what you can do. See if you can pick people off from the tower. See if you can pick people off from really far. It might take a few shots, but it's really fun when it works, and I just love how tight that pellet spread is. But overall, I'm super excited that the devs decided to buff it. This is one of those much needed buffs. It's still really tough, and to be honest, I think it could still do with a little bit of a tuning, maybe a little bit of a higher chest multiplier, so that you can still get that 2-shot kill, because it's really not that far out to that like 11 meters with most attachments, and I don't think it's that overbearing to have it 2-shot if you're hitting a chest shot, because you still have to aim down sights, and maybe just tune down the stomach multiplier to kind of balance it out. I'd be okay with that. Right now, it's just incredibly difficult to use, but it is usable. You just have to be a damn good player, and a lot of the time, I'm not, so it's really difficult. But I've talked enough about it. Let me know down below in the comments, guys, what do you think of this shotgun now? Are you happy with the buffs? Do you think it needs more of a buff? Is it still garbage to you? And with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.
Reinforcements are on the way. Enemy soldiers nearby. Fire sale